Well, Gordon Strachan has laid out his selection policy on the basis of his belief that the professional footballer can handle any number of games during a season, and, as you can see from that team there, no rotation policy for him. This is a side which played at Easter Road and lost the game, however freakish the final 3-2 score ultimately was. United disappointed when I watched them last week at Fir Park against Gretna, but they came back strongly in the CIS Cup, so only Stuart Duff, who was at left back at Fir Park last week, is the only absentee from that side and that defeat. The same players plus David Robertson make the starting lineup. There's Barry Robertson. There's Barry Robson, one of the outstanding players, of course, for United. Top scorer last season with 12. Started off his career as a Rangers lad, the Rangers youth team, and has progressed Inverness and, of course, United. And emerging from the huddle, Artur Boric, sympathetic chants around the stadium for today after his quite uncharacteristic lapses last Sunday. There's Nakamura. I think a serious doubt about him for the Milan game. We shall see over the weekend, but it doesn't look hopeful. Referee today, Dougie MacDonald. And off we go. Well, Celtic will be fully aware of what happened at Fir Park at this stage, and know they will go to the top of the league if they get 3 points today. That should be an added incentive. You might say playing at home before a European game, they don't need these kind of incentives. Every game is important. But also realising they're playing against a side which was very unfortunate just to get a draw the last time they played here. Played exceptionally well under Craig Levein, got a 2-2 draw. But I was very disappointed in the way they played Gretna last week. They had a lot of shots at goal. They had 17 to Gretna's 9, but they really didn't make the impact I thought they would make, having last week been third top of the league. Aidan McGinney was starting on the right-hand side. Can play equally well on either side. Came through a very tough cup tie Celtic at Dundee. I never expected an easy game for them up there, but they came through it. That's a point. And getting on this theme about do you rest players, do you keep them going, it's an interesting debate. That's a free kick, I think, to Dundee United. I don't think there's any doubt about it that if you continually play certain crucial players, they may get injuries, pick up niggling injuries. On the other hand, players want to play. Nobody I know in the game prefers resting or sitting on the bench, that's for sure. Ball played out there as Jordan Robertson, a little boy from Sheffield United. Perhaps I should say the young boy from Sheffield United. Certainly not we. Promising ball. Wilkie is up, but Dougie MacDonald indicating he was using his shoulder. There he is. The game in his career has been a bit of a tragedy, of course. He played for years for Dundee, then got these injuries from which people thought he may never recover, but he has, and that's good to see. Robertson left on his own there. Hunt is away on the right hand side. He played that way last week. And always a dilemma. Huge game facing Celtic next Wednesday here. A game they cannot afford to lose. Getting back to this point about which players do you play, they really have to have that full team. The best of the players. Here's one of them, Hartley. He's played excellently in Europe so far. Gets caught there, Hunt is there, Robertson's on his own. And away by McManus. I think in any case Scott McDonald was offside. What a start he's had to his career. He was not at all pleased, I can tell you, when we were out in Shakhtar when he was taken off. He had been playing extremely well. Easily away by McManus again. Well, of course, there's been a lot of discussion about this Celtic defence after the early lapses against Shakhtar. I think individually, each of them can play exceptionally well. It just, there seemed lack of organisation at times. Robson operating mostly in the left-hand side. Number 6 there, Willow Flood, one of the 3 Republic of Ireland players in the side. Lent his trade with Manchester City, but was loaned out to many clubs. Cardiff, Coventry, Rochdale, during his early career. Arm wrestling going on there. Referee thinks it's all right. Doumbé back in the side again. Mark Wilson off to the States to get treatment or advice from specialists for that knee of his. Nicely sprayed out there. Noel Hunt. Backed up here. Dundee United played some excellent football at the early start of the season, swept out there by Prince Buaben. I felt last week Miller got to that ball, played in from the wide here, Miller behind it. I thought last week the United midfield was a bit stodgy, pretty much inspired football coming from it. Wilkie had come up from that again. Thought the referee might hold it. Here's Wilkie of all people. A stride too far. Not the man you'd expect in that attacking position, because Celtic are now on the counter-attack. Very experienced Darren Dodds is there, so also is Robson. So I said about Robson, he's playing on this left-hand side. He can go central midfield, of course. Now, McGeady likes to take on a defender like this. Brilliant play. A little bit too far. Just away it's in there. McDonald. A beautiful header from the far post there. I think that deceived the goalkeeper in particular. He didn't think Jan Vennegood of Hesselink was ever going to get to that ball. And the little man, Scott McDonald, on the spot at the right time, but all coming from this man again, McGeady there. This is the header, beautifully set in there by Jan Vennegood of Hesselink. And it gives you an idea of how well they combined. Just a touch of the head. 7 minutes gone, Celtic, a 1-up. It is interesting that last week they have 2 players in there, 162, 163. That goals were scored against Dundee United in the air last week as well, which is certainly a bit surprising. Doumbé. Robson. I think that's Celtic's ball. Ricochet between the two players. Robson will put in a power of work. Tireless, energetic player. Very loose in midfield. That's a very ambitious ball played forward there. No chance of anybody getting hold of that. Well, Craig Levein was a great defender himself, and I think he'll be annoyed at the way that that far post wasn't covered properly for that goal. Back by Brown and Dumby. Caldwell. Celtic fullbacks came in for some criticism after the Shakhtar game. Here's a buzz. Donati. Excellent tackle by Wilkie, but look at the pass. Completely miscued that. It's not very well stopping attacks like that, but the business of the game is to convert defence into attack. He failed to do it miserably there. McDonald, nice little ball down. That was straight to the goalkeeper, I think. Had there not been that intervention. Well, Gomez and his partner in midfield, Prince Buyaban, certainly knocking the ball about. They are pretty mobile. Picked up by David Robertson. Two Robertsons playing, and Barry Robertson on the left again. Good interception there by McManus. He had Prince Buyaban coming right through the middle. Donati can't get hold of that. Hunt. Feckless kind of ball there by Hunt. Noel Hunt. Bust on the scene with Dundee United, scored some very useful goals in his time, and that's offside. David Robertson. Well, no fireworks at Celtic Park so far, just steady and composed Celtic side at the moment, getting that early lead. That'll do them very nicely. Provides the basis for some more, you would think, led by that man there, Scott McDonald. Darren Dodds. Yarban putting that away. Dumby. Donati. I'll say a leisurely sort of game at the moment. I think Celtic would have been wanted a tasking physical game before they take on Milan. Hartley was fouling. Morgado Gomez got it there. Played away to the far side, Hunt. Easy one there for Boric. Wilkie. And there the Polish goalkeeper, Shamatulski. Big fella. Donati, I thought he came on to a useful game eventually in Shakhtar, but it was too late. Robertson, the other Robertson, Jordan Robertson. Simply gives the ball away. Here's Brown trying to go. Came through that very well, Brown. Now, Hartley. Away by Wilkie, sticking out these long legs of his. Better attack there by Celtic. Emanating from that man, Scott Brown. He'll have to do a real shift for Celtic in midweek. He really will. Wilkie just getting to it. Crowd appealing for a penalty there. Caldwell gives that away, and slack play in midfield. That was Margaret Gomez putting it away, the man who came from Cowdenbeath via a little fringe benefit with Chelsea and Montpellier. Here's Robson. Wasn't too happy with that pass, the captain. To get away with it, Prince Viambo. Well, you could see Willow Flood, the Irish lad, shouting at him that he wanted that ball played on the ground. Dumbe. Brown playing it safe again. McDonald, neat turn by McDonald, and the flag stayed down. Sometimes at Celtic Park from opposition, you're going to get up on your tiptoes to see the linesman on the right-hand side. Boric! Crowd love it. Well, that's given slackly away by Naylor. Trying to get back into position. Hunt has no support. He gets it now at the back. Donati tries to go, and I think the very presence of Donati rushing at him put him off there completely. Well, Ante Boric comes from a tradition of goalkeeping in which he's a bit of a personality himself, like that, for example. When you see him off the park, he just looks a very easy-ozy big fella. Here's Flood. That's a better ball. Gomez. Trying to slip it in behind McManus. Good interception again by the goalkeeper, off his line quickly. Hartley. Don't think there's any doubt Hartley will play this. Scott Brown showing his strength again and getting annoyed, and he shouldn't. It was a foul, and I'm quite sure the referee realised that, and this is an element of his game that Scott Brown, brilliant when he surges forward like that, not so clever when he takes a player on the way he does afterwards. McGeady. McDonald. There's McGeady. Better play by Celtic. Donati comes back very well there. Now Caldwell. Almost gave that away, Caldwell. Donati. A lot of play coming from Caldwell at the back here, and very good at Hesseling, has to come back deeper to pick that up all the same. Donald couldn't get to it properly. Referee waves play on. Look at McGeady. The reverse pass almost came off, and the Dutchman lunges in late. Free kick. Here's the bust there by McGeady. He is in sparkling form already today. You can tell right away when he's in the mood for a game. He most certainly is. Look at all this spare time in midfield. Very surprising. That's available. David Robertson picks it up. Maybe he should have gone for goal himself. Yaban put that in. That's good play by Celtic defensively. Way by Donati. McDonald. Well, you can see the way the United are holding on to the ball here, making the passes, but the big lad up front just simply lacks technique, I think. Here he is again. And that'll be a goal kick. There was a spell there when you felt that Dundee United would gradually erode that Celtic defence, and they just kept the ball. And the first touch of Jordan Robertson letting the side down. I don't know whether you can hear Gordon Strachan doing the bowling from below there, but I can. Look at him. Really aroused. Well, will Celtic respond to that? Brown couldn't pick it up. Flood. That's good play. Duabin. Caldwell, here's the counter-attack. Offside given there, that must have been very close. A beautiful little flick through again by Scott McDonald. Coming to naught though. There it is, yes. Offside. Mark you, he wasn't picked up. A yard further back and he would have been away. Down. Wilkie. Tried to lay it off. What David Robertson had in mind there, perhaps he was in two minds. I don't think there was any chance of anything getting done that right-hand side. Noel Hunt. Here's Robertson. Loses out on that again. Well, I think Gordon Strachan was rightly telling his charges to get forward. A bit of slackness creeping into Celtic's midfield play. Like by Gomez. We just got rid of that. Lucky that it fell to Hunt. Forward by Dillon. Well, I think Boric could have got that. McManus once again taking no chances. Here's Buabin. Prince Buabin. Once again Robson. United have seen a lot of the ball. It's better play. Robson now been watched by Brown very closely. Once again, Jordan Robertson finding it very hard to pick up the pace of this game. Well, there's another one. Almost manic down there. There's nothing much in this game. McDonald, look at the pace of McDonald. They held that well. Dodds tried to compete with them. That'll be a free kick. And I think there's going to be a booking. Referee considering that to be deliberate. Interesting position here. We have all the big men in there, only Dumby and Naylor at the back. Well away though, Wilkie, right behind it, Dumby. Caldwell. Naylor gives support. Can't get that away though, Naylor gives it away. Buchanan. Well, Willow Flood came in. Willow Flood has relatives at the game today over from Dublin. Not to support him, I have to say. Hey! Here's Caldwell. Very benign game so far. Most of it based in midfield. McManus just got behind that. Might have meant it Naylor for the goalkeeper. Here's Caldwell. That's offside. Well, the United defence are organising themselves, obviously, by just creeping forward when the ball is played by a Celtic midfield player. Well, it's come off for them so far, but it's a risky one because Celtic have pace, obviously, with McDonald and McGeady in particular on the counter-attack. So they could yet suffer. That's a lovely ball to Hunt. Naylor's with them. I think United might get a free kick for that. Slight kind of challenge. A superb pass forward there. He didn't have anybody to lay the ball off to, and he had to just stick into it there, and they do get the free kick. Now Robson is superb with that left foot of his. He can put vicious swerve onto the ball from a position like this. A little bit too much in that. And Boric takes it. Not the best ball to have been played in there by Robson. Much too hard. Dumby. Good run by Dumby. Lays it out to Hartley. Hartley rather quieter in the last 5 minutes or so. Dumby. Bit of pace in Celtic's attack now. McGeady can't get going. He had a wonderful start to the game, and quite frankly, I don't think he's seen enough of the ball. That's a decent ball played in there. Hunt. I think he's wasted the opportunity. That ball should have been played over. That's a dreadful ball there by Sean Dillon. Yes, he may well shake his head. Beautiful ball played forward there. I think he should have sent it in with that right foot of his. And then the wastage. I think he's talking to himself, actually. It's a bad sign, that. And there's the future Celtic chairman. Next month he's officially appointed. He also happens to be my MP, but I don't expect any favours. Too many players being caught in possession in midfield on both sides. There again. Now Robertson. Here's Flood. Celtic getting defenders back. Good play by Brown. Read the danger well. The square pass could have been lethal if picked up. Very good of Hesselink. Annoyed that he's given away that free kick, but Dougie McDonald quite adamant. Hunt. Robertson. Good defensive play there by Hartley. Celtic had funneled all the midfield players back defensively, and it worked out. It was going to be very difficult for anybody to get a chink in that Celtic defence there. Now Dumby. I thought there was a bit of pushing going on there by Darren Dodds. Robson is operating from this deep position, going up and down this left-hand side, and of course he can operate very defensively as well. Here's McGeady. Something different might happen when he's on the ball. Scott McDonald. It's astonishing that that defence couldn't get away. Clumsy defending. Full marks to Celtic's resilience there for sticking with the ball, but that should have been cleared by that United defence. David Robertson. And the referee, in fact, is quite angered by that challenge. Giving him a little warning. Challenge I've ever seen, and he goes there. You know, I think he was trying to turn his body away there from the challenge. Barry Robson. Darren Dodd is there. Too many high players in there. But Jan Vennegood of Hesselink, who was back. Now here's the counter-attack. There he is. Took his eye right off it though. Here's Dylan. That's Noel Hunt. Well, surely Noel Hunt could be a little more imaginative than that. Just ramming it against the defender. Good play by Donati. Very good at Hesselink. Here's Donati. Now McDonald. Saw the opening. Scott McDonald now. Now Brown. Rumble of discontent in the stands at the moment. They want that ball pushed forward, but it's not always the easiest option. Celtic, meanwhile, keeping possession. Well, they were until that moment. Well, the two Gomez and Prince Buaben are picking up a lot more in midfield now. Good play again by the solid and dependable McManus. Given away by McGeady. He must have thought there was somebody inside him. Prince Buaben. David Robertson. Really have been feeding Noel Hunt a lot on that right-hand side. Gomez. No chance of shooting from there with Donati coming on top of him. With Scott McDonald, it's 2 against 3. And Donati, I think, tried to chip away to the goalkeeper's left-hand post there, way up to that postage stamp corner. And it didn't come off. There it is, good effort there by Donati. I think there were too many options there. He could have squared it. may have put him off. 12 minutes to half time. Referee says that was a push, free kick, quickly taken. Robertson. Free kick this time to Celtic. Ironic cheers rising round the ground. That's a decent pass. Van Henniger to Hetteling. Right off the side of the foot. Now then, he's gone down in some pain. Now there's an anxious looking manager. What's happened there? Now let's see this. Here he is. He lets fly and he just adjusted rightly for the shot. I think the defender's boot might have caught him on the right hand side when he fired that in. He's not too happy, but I think he's recovering slowly. Caldwell. Well, did Hartley take his eye off that, or a bad pass? Well, no test for Norwich. He'll be glad to get that behind him. An easy shot, a trundling shot, but then again, that's what happened last week. Here's Brown. Gotta go, Hesseling. Still hasn't fully recovered. I think he was shaken by that challenge. The two boots catching each other, it must have been painful. Doesn't look happy. And indeed, I think he's not going to play any further part in the proceedings. I think they may be bringing Chris Killen on. Now, all credit to the big Dutchman. He was the man who rose above everybody else. Here's Robson. Robertson. Dillon puts it in. Now Hunt. Don't know how he expected to get through that way. Robertson. Better play by United all the same. Robson puts it in. There he is again. McGeady goes with him. McGeady still working hard. And we'll get that substitution now. On comes the New Zealand international. Jan very good of Hesseling off, and he's looking quite crestfallen. Well, we'll find out later what the extent of the injury is, and indeed what the injury is. Gomez, slang play by Gomez that time. Now McDonald tries to turn away, no free kick. Robson. Prince Viaden. Hartley. A very animated Celtic part today. Challenge there by Caldwell. Donati is back with it. Donati, difficult ball for him to pick up. They're coming in and harassing that Celtic midfield now, not allowing them to settle. And United simply have to plug away like this. Celtic have the capacity, of course, to look a little bit out of sorts at time and then get something special up front. They have those sorts of players, and Dundee went down under that heavy challenge. And afterwards, McGeady and Robson were getting involved. And you can see this here. They got involved in the aftermath, but I think the referee was more serious about that. Free kick. Caldwell will take this. Nicely played down by Gomez. Prince Buaben looks around for support and gets it. Hunt had come back much deeper. Was wandering on his own. Well, that was nodded well down then. There was nobody backing it up from Hunt. Good run by Hunt. Killen putting his hip in there, and that's going to be another free kick. And I make it 5 minutes to half time. Donati should get this. McDonald's on his own. Lays it off. Now Wilkie picks up. He comes forward occasionally. Wilkie. Oh, it's a poor ball by Hunter. Had to have some elevation to get beyond that Celtic defence. Trying to explain what happened. We saw what happened. Not there by Brown. Wants the ball played back to him. Doesn't get it though. McDonald. That's a beautiful pass by McDonald. Opens up the play. McGeady. McGeady must let fly. The goalkeeper. That ball took the square. No doubt about that. Burst of activity from Celtic here. Killen. Again, McDonald has been the most productive of the forward players. Donati. Killen tries to get in. Plays it down the side. Dundee though, Hartley picking up in midfield. Good play by McDonald. Here's Donati trying to get away. Astonishing, this Dundee United defence. Unable to clear the lines. I think there's going to be a corner kick. Well, the tackling not incisive enough by United, and it simply puts the pressure on them. Away from goal that time. Colin Dodds was there. Brown gets up on it, and McDonald. Well, I think he was entitled to have a go there. Difficult angle back to go, but given some of the effort that Celtic have had, could have paid off for him. Caldwell easily behind that. Gomez. Okay. See how Robson might start off playing down this left-hand side and deep, but he can wander all over the field. David Robertson. Prince Buaben. I keep calling him Prince, he's no royalty, it just happens to be. What a title, a name. Just ordinary Buaben. 1 minute of added on time, and I make it about a minute and a half left of ordinary time in what has been a fairly uneventful first half. McDonald, superb play. He's good on his own, McDonald, but he does link the play very well. Good eye for a pass of any distance. Dillon. And again, pushing by McManus. Big Celtic captain didn't actually agree with that. Well, the hands were up as well, but I think the pushing was going before that. Now here's Noel Hunt again. Robertson. Not sure what he's trying to achieve by doing that. Gets a throw in. If anything at all, he might have tried to play for a corner kick. There we are. And that's all there is left. We've played the 45. So, last chance of the game in this half. Okay, tries to get up. Too many Celtic defenders run there for United, though. Darren Dodds. Robson. Wilkie, I think Robson maybe putting just a little bit too much work in the ball. Flood, and that was a very sore one by Killen. It'll be a free kick. He had to go for it, but he concedes a free kick, and here is Robson to take it. I think we've only got about 10 seconds or so left in this half, and David Robertson gets a pretty meaningless touch to the ball there. Hasn't been the greatest contribution to United's effort in what, at the end of that half, has been a largely uneventful game. I get the impression that you're watching a team, Celtic, getting ready for a much bigger challenge at a much higher level, with the greatest respect to Dundee United, and as a result I don't think the sharpness and the freshness is there, but they are a goal in front. For them, that's the most important aspect of the game. Celtic leading by 1-0.
And this man's got pace to burn. That's pleasure and pain in one.
That was simply superb.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
The magnificent Magners League continues this weekend on Setanta Sports 2.
Oh, what have we got here? We've got to tidy you up, digitally speaking. So here's what you do. You call Virgin Media on this subtly placed number, and they give you digital TV, broadband, and home phone together in one neat little bundle, all for only £30 a month. That's better.
To get all three services for a tidy £30 a month, call Virgin Media now on 0800 052 60 60.
All right, okay, I can explain this. Let me tell you about my day. I go to put my breakfast tray outside my hotel room door, and the door shuts behind me, which is irritating when all you're wearing is a towel, you know, it's embarrassing. And then I have lunch with this guy named Michael, and of course I remember his name is Lawrence, and that Michael was his boss. Good one. Then I go get my hair done for some wonderful event I have to go to, and it starts raining, doesn't it? I mean, there's rain, and then there's rain. This is definitely rain.
Imagine a Scotland without score. Men would have nothing to talk about. With no football to discuss, men are forced to talk to women. Thankfully, this frightening vision can never become a reality. Not while Score is free, inside the Scottish news of the world every Sunday. Your favourite football pull-out with all the action, covering every club, every game, every goal. Thank heavens for Score.
From a continent where golf just keeps getting bigger and whose stars are beginning to make a major impact, Setanta's coverage of the Asian Tour continues with the Royal Bank of Scotland Group. The Korea Open, Thursday at 6 a.m, Setanta Golf.
Well, United have made a couple of changes. On has come Stephen Robb and Stuart Duff. Stuart Duff moving to left back because what has happened tactically is they've decided to put Barry Robson centre field, midfield, and of course he can be very influential playing in that area. So Robson at the centre of Dundee United's midfield. They certainly had quite a share of the ball, but I have to say Artur Boric hasn't had a decent save to make all afternoon, and that rather sums up the situation. Mark, you one goal in it, and that's all there is. So they didn't really look like adding to the tally all that greatly. Look at McDonald, good control, good pace, not a good pass though. Picked up there by away in that far side, Robb. Got a bit of pace about him, Robb. Played all his football with Dundee. One of the many players who just simply, like Lee Wilkie, walked down the road, Tannadice Road, and joined the other side. Brown. Quite his game by Brown today. He'll play Naylor. Donati not just as dominating as he was the last time I saw him here at Celtic Park. Kill it. Couldn't get that properly. I think we're going to see a lot of Barry Robson now. Caldwell. Stuart Duff is on the field now. Didn't play all that well last week. The last Gretna goal came away to the far post, which he really should have been guarding. It wasn't at that stage. To Wilkie. Try to get a little attack developing down that left-hand side. Haven't threatened too much through the middle, Dundee United. The young lad they have there, Jordan Robertson, he's only 19, straight out of Sheffield United's youth academy. McDonald wasn't far away from that. McManus trying to get through in that. Caldwell's there, just gets a touch back. Close run thing. Noel Hunt was coming in from that right-hand side. Will he pick it up? He just gets the little touch again. Sharpness of leg and thought. Donati. Robson stays with him. Robson comes away. Dangerous sort of ball for Robson to employ that time. Robb. Straight off McGinney. Once again, United building up slowly, maybe far too predictably, but seeing a lot of the ball. It's Dillon. Robson, as I said, we're going to see a lot more of him. That's a beautiful ball inside. Doomby. It's Even Rob just slipping at the wrong time, that. Here's Brown. Okay, gets in there, so does Robson. Robertson. Ball hooked away from him. Robson again. Free kick. Scott McDonald going in hard. Really is a dynamic little figure, this. Doesn't mess about. No inhibitions about him. Namagini brought the game alive with his first run. McDonald is offside. And really browned off by that decision. That's the man. Easy one for McManus. A rather easy afternoon against the 19-year-old. I think Robson's enjoying his role, and Wilkie screaming there at Willow Flood for not chasing after that. Good interception there by Hartley. Sharper, more incisive. Almagini. Poor ball there by Brown. Well, the two fullbacks have to be more accurate in the passing than that. He's annoyed about that. Quite rightly so. Here's Hartley. Good run by Hartley. Too many players there, though. Donati seemed to twist his ankle there. Here's Hunt coming in. There might have been a little deflection when he fired that, and Robertson it was. Jordan Robertson didn't quite get hold of that, and Caldwell, certainly in the way, made it difficult for himself. Was there a hand used there? Darren Dodge going up for it. Great play by McGeady again, referee. Line play to go on, he's still with it. Back it goes, Dundee. McDonald tries to lay it off, it's just past. Killen annoyed with himself about that. Great play on the right hand side here. Cutely laid back, unselfishly, and he tried to angle it with great deliberation. Wrong side of the post, that should have been two. Robson. Here's Duff. Well, allowing McGeady to come all the way back with him. That ball could have been sent in, I think, much earlier. Here he is again. That's Robson this time. So it down the side. Rob. Good interception there. That was Brown getting involved. Here he is again. Caldwell has to play it back. Well, here's McDonald going away, and the referee says he elbowed, and he's incensed about it. Oh no, was the referee right? Would have we go, a lot of pushing by both of them. Well, that might be very, very difficult to say from there. Decent ball played in. Here's robbed. Underside it goes, and Dundee comes in and a throw to Celtic. On to Flood. Tries to open it out on the right-hand side and does. Flood again, easily caught in position. That's bad play by United. Now can Celtic exploit it? Waited out far side, he's going to let fly. Brown, and just missed. Killen again. All emanating from slack play in midfield by United. They had possession, gave it away very softly. And here's a run again by McDonald's. A very unselfish player, might have gone for it himself. And you could see what Brown was trying to do with that angled ball for the New Zealander. John B. There's no offside. What a chance! A great save. 1-1. Here's Robson now. Pushed out of that, but the referee said nothing doing. A 1-1 and a 19-year-old youngster. Certainly the nerve didn't go from him. That's offside. But good sound technical goalkeeping again by Boric. Here he is. Might have done better than that, but Boric acted instinctively. A very difficult man to beat in a 1-1. Killen tries to get there. Hartley. Now Buaben. Hunt. Spotted by Dillon on that side. Corner kick. That comes out of Boric to say something to his defence. It certainly wasn't complimentary. Corner kick. Robson again, centre of everything for United. That's too strong again. Poor ball. And he has big men right in the heart of that penalty area, and I think he should have gone for that. But a very good player, Robson, there's no doubt about it. Influential since the start, the most influential player in the first 13 minutes of this second half. Wrestling going on there, and played out by Flood. There's Killen. Robson took his eye off that. Charging into Buaben. Been rather quieter. I think Robson is now playing the kind of role that he played in the first half. They're playing off Robson now. Aaron Dodds. Now Duff. No chance of Robertson getting onto that. That'll be a goal kick. Well, they're plugging away, United, and Celtic have had the moments in the breakaway largely. Refereeing decisions going narrowly against them. I always feel, as I said earlier on in the match, that Celtic do have players, you know, that they're out of sorts today. This is not by far and away a performance that is typical of Celtic. We've already seen earlier in the season they look pretty flat, but they do have players that have the ability to change the whole course of the game. Cheers from the Celtic supporters for having won a free kick. Killen fouled, as he was there. McGeady, this is one of the players I'm talking about, can really change things. Here's Rob. Free kick. They're making these runs, but again, Boric, apart from that 1-to-1 he had 5 minutes ago, he hasn't really been bothered, so Celtic have been able to nullify anything that United have thrown against them by defending well deep in midfield.
Substitution for the United offers number 6 Flood, player on 17 Cameron.
Well, here's the other substitution, Greg Cameron on for Flood. Nice little turn there, and Hartley knew exactly what he was doing. He gets a warning from the referee. Last kind of warning for pulling away like that. Another free kick. Well away there by Gary Colville now. This is the man Celtic wanted to break away. McGeady. Corner kick given for that. Shoulder to shoulder charge. Loud shouts from behind the goal for a penalty kick, as McGeady tried to tantalise Duff here. No penalty, but a corner kick. Hartley to take. Decent one as McManus came up to take that, but difficult angle for him. Watch him try to turn his body and head at the same time to get the right kind of angle. Difficult ball. Nice little flick on there. Robertson couldn't get to it. Taylor did. Now McGeady again, the man most likely to succeed. Killen, will he get that? He does. Beautiful play again by McGeady. Just away there. Now McGeady must let fly. Played too much that time. Still there though. Very resilient. Not just skill, but tough on the ball as well. Oh, the two players, they couldn't make their minds up about that. Brown tries to come up. Almost a clearance by Brown there. Well, good pressure by Celtic at the moment, but the final ball, a very poor one. Not McGeady. Oh, I think he looked a little bit tired there as he went for that. Here's Robson. Full of confidence, Robson. Now, Hartley was already warned. I said 5 minutes ago he was on his last warning. That was it. Yellow card. Round the back, Robertson. Well, the little bundle of a bunch of Dundee United supporters screaming for a penalty here for this shot. Alarm was up. Owen has just passed Darren Dodds. No, he was annoyed with himself. Should he be? Up he comes. Tried too much of an angle to the left on it. A direct header, and this would have counted. Very, very flat performance by Celtic. But they're still in front. That's the way to win championships. Now Donati. Less influential than I've seen him recently. That's good play, but the final ball wasn't good. Wilkie making too much of it. Well, Craig Levein must be tearing his hair out in that kind of play, no wonder. Good position, and Wilkie could have sent that ball forward. They got themselves cornered. That's better play, Rob. Couldn't get hold of it properly. Killen, Brown, neat little ball in there, and he puts it in. Would you believe McDonald, against the defence, that 3 times could have cleared that ball, and that puts the game beyond United's reach. Great perseverance, good run here, but watch this. 2 players round him. Then there, the ball could have been cleared. Dreadful defending, and if you've got that kind of resilience and slack defending, you're going to suffer.
To go for Celtic, the scorer, Scott McDonald.
Second of the day. Now 5 goals for Scott McDonald. Referee blowing his whistle violently there. We're halfway through this second half. Can't see United coming back from that. Here's Rob, he's got a lot of pace, Rob. Decent ball in, and well, team captain had to go for it. Wasn't particularly caring where it was going to end up, apart from in the net. Swinging. Killen had come back. Now McDonald. Robson. Really annoyed there, the referee. And he had a little bit of a Barney. I think the frustration in realising that United, really terrible defending. Darren Dodds. Beautiful play by Biabia. Robson opening it out, Rob. Good cover there by Dundee. Away goes McGeady. Can take the ball the length of the field himself. Brown. McDonald. Hartley taking up that midfield role there as Killen is caught offside. Caldwell couldn't get it back properly, and then does. Gary Caldwell, of course, very experienced player. Had lapses in Benfica last year in Lisbon. So I think he's a vital component of that Celtic defence in Europe. Yeah, I think Celtic realise this game is won. Certainly a long time to go, about 19 minutes left, but there's nothing in United up front that suggests a breakthrough. I've said that before in the football match and been proved wrong, but well, that's the evidence so far. Good clearance there by Naylor. Donald gets the ball again, bounces off players. Decent ball there, it's in! McDonald gets his hat-trick. And is he delighted? This man is turning out to be a huge asset for this club. Now, not the easiest of balls to take. Look at the way he stabbed at it to keep the ball down. It might have been a ball that could have been put over the crossbar had it not been controlled properly. And the fullback there, who I think has had a disaster of a day, Sean Dillon, left looking absolutely vulnerable again. Robson. A very good player, but oh dear, some of them around him. Yadin. There's a bit of a deflection there, it'll be a corner kick. 3-0 Celtic with about 22 minutes or less than that now. Down there, looks a goal kick. Darren Dodds getting the last touch. There's Dodds again. 2 or 3 times in the game he's been there in that position. Donati. Here's McGeady. Well, he's a source of inspiration, this young lad. Some of the moves don't come off, but whenever he's on the ball, you can see the tension in the defence. Oh, that wasn't far away from Brown. Took that very well. Not his most influential game, but he's always there for an effort like that. Only inches in it. Donati. There by Darren Dodds. I make it about 15 minutes remaining now. All the formality. Celtic have got an awkward game out of the way. There's a free kick. I did say at half-time they gave the impression of a team with something else in their mind. Not surprisingly, given the huge commitments and the importance of Wednesday's game. They played confidently enough, but as I said, I don't detract from what I thought was a fairly flat performance, given. But I also said the qualification, they did have players who could change again dramatically, as Scott McDonald has, aided and abetted by the likes of Aidan McGeady. Nicely played there by Stephen Robson. He did the right thing to let that ball go across him. Here's McGeady. Beautiful play. Now Donati. Well, good tackle there. Darren Dodds had to keep the leg in. No free kick. Buildup. Hunt. Hunt tries to get there again. That came off Buildup's face. Didn't like it. He will recover though. Rob just gets away, and I think the offside flag was up. And Porridge doesn't even want to let the ball go over the line. Well, Evander Snow is about to come on. Donati comes off. Robson tries to get it back. Duff might just be able to keep this in. Does. Getting themselves into that tight spot again, United. And ultimately giving the ball away. Snow. Now Brown. Lovely little ball played down there, and look at the way that McDonald can go in. Just bounces off opponents. Didn't quite come off for him that time. Robson. Good play by Robson. Hunt. Hunt with the shot, and Boric simply had to get his chest behind that just to make it perfectly safe. The first save, apart from the 1-to-1 he had with Robertson early on, he's had to make in about 20 minutes. Swung in well. Too many players there. Buchanan. Powerful tackle though by Brown. Here's McGeady. Nicely around the outside, Killen. Can he get that ball over? He did, but to no effect. United now trying to keep the score down. Dillon. Flung out defensively today, Dillon. Robertson can't get that. Caldwell picked it up, wanted to go forward. McGeady. But once again, United had that ball. Get it clear. And they're still under pressure. Celtic quite playing well within themselves. Caldwell. That's meant for McDonald again. There was a cover. Wilkie had to come from central defence. There was a fullback. Robertson. Rob is quick, but not that quick. McDonald, the hat-trick hero of the day, goes off. Magic Zaraski now coming on. Polish player who's offered a lot, and I think there's no doubt about it, McDonald is becoming not only a footballing hero, but almost a cult figure now. Ironically, after the damage he did Celtic 3 seasons ago. Here's Caldwell. Celtic with this immense task coming up. It's going to be an important team selection for Gordon Strachan. You'll probably have had a look at the game today, and I don't think it'll materially influence what he has in mind for Milan. Here's Zaraski. Neat ball in there by Van der Snow. Brown held it up well. McGeady again. Decent ball in. Brown is there. Lays it inside. Nobody covering McGeady. Could be dangerous. Celtic mounting the pressure. Offside. Zaraski. Well, Zaraski had a patchy career, of course, with Celtic. Well, that's 22 goals in 50 games for them. Well away by Caldwell. And Dodds is there. Does get his foot to it. Had to. Dillon just through the legs, just got away with it. Robson took his eye off that. He's worked manfully in the second half, trying to whip some effort into his mates. Offside. Good ball by McGeady, but the defence has stepped out. And just over 5 minutes remaining. Robson again. Picked up a lot in midfield like this. Dundee. Nice turn again by McGeady. Better tackling. It was Rob who came back to do that, but again they give the ball away. Now McGeady. Brown trying to find Snow. Feels that a hand had been used there. Corner kick. I think it brushed against an arm, but probably accidentally. There's the ball by Brown. Intelligent ball there. He saw the advance there to Snow. There was the elbow touching the ball. No question about that. Now, was there a little bit of intent? Just a hint of it there with that elbow. Ball still in play, by the way. Caldwell came up to it. Now McGeady tries to put it in, and that was deflected. That was a great piece of play by McGeady again. Quicksilver on the edge of a bolt like that. When a defender goes to him, he's in peril. Just watch the way he takes on the defender. Little jink. He makes it look easy the way he goes past the player, but it never is. Good save. Down it goes to Brown. Beautiful play there. Caldwell. And this defence really stretched now. Indeed, Lee Wilkie might have stretched just a little bit too much there. Remember, he's been plagued by knee injuries. Watch him coming in there and going over on it. I think he's going to be all right. Yep. That ball cubbing away this time and all over. Caldwell coming up for that. Well, there was some decent play by United in the game, but the defending, oh dear. Now Craig Levine, renowned defender himself. I don't think he'll need anybody to analyse that for him. Here's Killen. Free kick. Very late on that. Just keeps it out. Killen looking at it, touches it down, and it's a goal kick. It's impression that he might have been pushed around there. No. An arm came out at the end, but he had done as much pushing himself. Stadium's almost about half empty now. People have left after that third goal. Robson tries to go for it. Robertson, not far away, decent effort. Hasn't had much service, but worked away. Did that 1-in-1 with Boric earlier on in the game that might have changed the complexion of the game just a little. We've 1 minute to go of the actual game and another added minute. Here's Dundee. I think that this man has been the player of the day. Yes, Scott McDonald's got the 3 goals, but this man has created so much when he's on the ball. Some of the moves haven't come off, but a lot of them have and caused havoc in the defence. Aidan McGeady, to my mind. Can you pick him out of the match other than somebody who scored a hat-trick? Well, I don't think the Celtic supporters will care all that much who the man of the match is. I thought McGeady was immense. There we are, 1 minute added. Well, United have learned the lesson that's often repeated here at Celtic Park. You might have possession, you might move the ball around a lot, you might even feel you're making inroads into Celtic, and then suddenly, bang, you find you're behind, and too far behind to make anything of it. Robson, their outstanding player, no doubt about that. They have played some neat football like that, but the game has belonged to Celtic's finishing. Hunt. Dundee will go for it, so does it Robertson, and he gets a corner kick. This will be the last move of the game, and in fact, we've now played the minute of stoppage time, according to my watch. Robson, not surprisingly, taking it again, and he overhits it as the final whistle goes. All-round applause for a Celtic performance, as I said, not at their best, but if they win 3-0 and play somewhat in a much more refined effort, then I think they should be satisfied. So there's no question at all about it that the opening goal set the seal on this game by a man who's about to have a personal triumph. There is the buzz through again. This should have been cleared, but he kept at it, deserved it for tenacity. And then the third. United woefully exposed on this far side and the far post again. And there's his hat-trick. You'll remember that for a long time. So Celtic, as I said, have triumphed again, preparing now for the big one next Wednesday night. Final score, Celtic 3, Dundee United 0.
He's Britain's most successful boxer. Undefeated in 43, now his biggest match is live on Setanta Sports. Also coming soon, the WBC Super Featherweight title, the WBU Featherweight title, Lightweight World Unification.
How about this for a surprise? It's 5.
Miguel Cotto v Sugar Shane Mosley.
Now we go again.
Take your ringside seats for the big boxing live on Setanta Sports.
Do you get digital TV included with your phone service? No? Well, you could. Hi, guys. Did you know you can call my apartment in New York for the same price as calling your neighbor? My number is 001-212-52... I'll text you.
So, are you saying the Scottish sun is supplying you?
Aye.
Feeding your habit day by day?
And what of it?
She's sort of Robin to my Batman.
I can't help it. I'm an addict. Addicted to Rebus. How can I resist when they're giving it away?
Get your first of 6 free Rebus DVDs inside Saturday's Scottish Sun. Offer continues with Sunday's Scottish News of the World and then till Thursday with the 20p Scottish Sun. We love it.
October on Setanta Sports. The magnificent Magners League is in full flow.
Absolutely sizzling.
The British touring car champion will be crowned at Thruxton. There's top-class boxing with 3 fights and 5 world titles on the line. Live golf includes the Champions Tour Last Major, the Senior Players Championship.
What a great shot.
Plus, the Charles Schwab Cup race reaches its climax. Setanta's fabulous football schedule includes more exclusively live action from the Barclays Premier League.